a lot of people are thinking is the favorites. It only gets harder from here, but you have to get past here to start.
See how split pans out. OpTic starting off on the attacking side, looking like they want to test the middle of the map initially. Early flash is just enough to dissuade.
And they're really waiting for the fuel as well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have to deal with the decay. They can get past this, but there's still a lot to clear. The smoke up in mail. If they can find the timing to cross, that's very important, but I don't think they're even going to go for it.
Knife across mid, not going to tag anyone. Note, if they do decide to go towards B, the alarm bot will be a problem.
Look at the setup, though. With that alarm bot, there's 4 players here from KRU.
Yeah.
In A heaven. Mazzino finally deciding, actually, to leave the stack, leave the gamble. And I think that might come back to bite them, because I think OpTic want to head back towards A with the positioning of crashes.
Perhaps after clearing out the alarm bot, they do that much. Eat a Trailblazer. But just so steady, man. Look at that. That's just baby steps that they take as they try to creep their way out. Again, another flash in their face. Mazzino backs up just a tad. What
30 seconds left.
This is a classic versus Frenzy. This is no way he can win this fight.
Oh. Drops the alarm bot, excuse me, the Roomba, and now the nade. A little bit of info gathered. Marv's going to get the spike down. They have full control of A.
The fight to retake heaven is on, and if this is fast, KRU has a lot of options to actually play into this. OpTic want to try to stop it, but with the flash from crashes, he doesn't find anything.
And the thing is, if you're KRU here, you're taking your dear sweet time. And that's not on your side. Crashy's taking a bit of damage. Nade,
the flank.
flash, now here we go, but you're right, Victor was on the flank, the bullets aren't going to land, and it's actually Kesnet who draws first blood in this ever-important match, and the kills continue to go back towards KRU's way. OpTic tries to swing it back. It's a 1v1 because, of course, it is. Finesse up top. The Classic's not going to land, but the Frenzy does. First blood. But is the round going to go their way? I don't think there's enough time. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
What was that?
0.2 seconds.
Is this what we're in for? Because that was just round 1.
It definitely is. And KRU is starting off right where they had the game. Both of their games against Guild and against Loud. They had a ridiculous team clutch rate of 23%. And Klaus wasn't even one of those players who was leading the charge in the clutches. And that was just barely by the skin of his teeth, too.
Nah,
OpTic.
He wasn't worried. You see his face?
Here.
Well played round from both sides, in my opinion.
I mean, to go down to a 1v1 on pistols, it's just... Sometimes the Classic is the best gun in the game, and other times, well, it lets you down.
I did feel like there was a little bit of whiffing on the side of OpTic. Either way, Victor's already got himself in ropes, and I don't think they know that he's here.
No,
look at the way Kesset's spamming through that smoke.
He's been so pesky already. Alarm bot just on the other side of ropes. Should he choose to go up that way, his position's going to be given away. But note very quickly here, OpTic, not much as far as buy goes.
They're so cautious in this elimination game to start. Marv, though, took the fight right up into B main with that Sheriff. Same thing with Victor. And then ever since then, it's been so quiet.
Silence across the entire map.
30
now we
left.
start to see him go up. Victor goes just a bit too wide. Ultimately falls. Nags is able to get the kill and then get away. But the thing is, off of that, OpTic are going to continue to try to double down to get onto the site, and Klaus is gladly here to welcome them. And if it's not Klaus, Nags can do a bit of the same. Very clean round out from KRU.
Yeah, that was a solid hold from Nags on top of that rope. Normally, that's a very difficult shot to hit, but he hit it really easily. And his fallback plan, obviously, his chamber, he just goes into sight to help his teammate instead of the more traditional spawn anchor. And we are going to have the buyout from OpTic now, though. Light armor from Marv. He did invest a Sheriff, didn't get anything from it. And he's one of the guys on OpTic who was feeling most confident. He's one of the guys who has been on point every single match.
Yeah,
the desk touched on it. Mimu was saying he's great in losses and great in wins. And that's kind of been missing, a consistent player for OpTic. Oh, on top of the
what?
frog.
Did he?
There's a little statue there.
Did he jump?
And he abused this wall that KRU is using. Very well played from Crashes, and that's great prep.
Hesitant getting hit by that knife. Once again, a flash in the face. OpTic, very surgical, man. Very slow, very methodical approach to all of these attack rounds.
And what's great about it is it definitely feels like everybody's on the same page. Nobody's making hero plays. Look how they get into that rope position. Both of them immediately. One right, one left. If anybody drops down, they're dead. It is surgical, Doug. You are absolutely right about that. And they're hitting the say heaven.
Oh,
Kesnit's gone.
He had no idea. Got caught on the other side. Now Klaus again has to hold the site himself. He's able to take care of Finesse, but that's all he's going to be able to be good for 4v2 here in favor of OpTic. Yay getting the spike down. One step closer to having Tour de Force online, and for Mizzino and Delzik, you have this arduous task of how the heck do you get in. You've got Marv who's coming up behind you, the guy who's been consistent the entire tournament. And it just seems like KRU in a brutal spot. Delzik is in astral form. Poor guy doesn't know what's about to hit him. Actually, he may be the one delivering the punch here. As Marv didn't know, now he's gonna have to check his tight angle. Very clean out from Marv, very clean out from OpTic.
And you could already see the importance of that first kill from Crashes. It felt like since then, they know they have the advantage, they're gonna push it.
Absolutely. I want to see that again.
Here's the jump, spots
bro.
him. Beautiful stuff. And it's very difficult to react to that. Given your crosshairs trying to look at somebody walking through the wall.
Yeah.
You're ready for a flash, you're ready for some sort of utility, you're ready to shoot a boom bot. Not for somebody to jump on top of the frog statue.
I was really hoping he'd hit it in the air. Maybe a little bit too much chaos early on. Viper's Pit going down towards A right off the bat.
Again, that Viper's wall is actually slightly off place, so Victor's using that to take some information in mid, shouldering very much closer to the wall. And there's a gap, so he can see a lot. He knows that nobody pushed in front of it, and that's kind of the point of that wall.
Prowler, a flash. See Crashes work his way around. And here we go, the fight in Mail ensues as it's just Maelstrom across. You see the gravity well, the nades being dropped as Prowlers are gonna follow as well. Kills go back and forth as Nagzet falls. Numbers in favor of OpTic. Spike nowhere to be had as it's still back at spawn.
And they don't even care, though. They don't even care. 50 seconds, they know exactly how to win this round. They know where the pit is. And the hero plays from KRU are going to get punished too. If they keep this clean, I am very scared for what's to come.
Yeah, this is very concerning. I think if that is their approach, and if that came off of preparation, for as much as we've historically lauded OpTic for being disciplined, for being prepared, for having all of their protocols put together, it feels like a read is very clear right now, and it's KRU are going to want to fight. They're going to want to be aggressive. Let's just sit back and wait.
Yeah.
Again, a testament to Finesse, a testament to Chet.
And OpTic have been in this position a lot. The elimination game to qualify for playoffs. They failed it one time at Champions. They succeeded at Reykjavik.
They just like playing the game on hard mode, man.
And now here again, they're back. At Reykjavik, Doug, it felt like they were angry about the fact that they even had to do that. They knew how much more they had to play at that tournament. And it let us watch a beautiful, well-oiled machine in the first place at Reykjavik run.
Yeah. Even to go back to that tournament run that you're referring to, not just that they have to start in the group stages, but that they started with a loss.
Yeah.
Right? Like you talk, okay, I'm not even going to be able to get out through upper side. I have to go through lures. I have to put in a run through a gauntlet. That's a lot.
And I was actually concerned going into this match because they don't have the OpTic buff, which is the revenge narrative, right? This is not a team. They have played KRU in the past, but it's not a team that they've played so far at this event.
Tour de Force online. Yeah, gets flashed up. But again, patience.
With the two guns bot here, this is a dangerous round. OpTic still have to have that same discipline that they've been having, but the Prowler pushes off Nags. And they didn't get any space with it. A lot of times you'll see teams still try to go into that space, even though Nags has the ability to come back on that angle. OpTic, no. And there's not going to be this rear aggro from KRU in mid that they've been doing over and over so far.
Kesna just giving up the space.
Nice molly.
Oh, that hurts. And he gets plucked out of the sky by Klaus. What a shot.
4v5. They're still hanging on to a little bit of A control with the way that EA is playing, so they want to come back here. Mazzino and Nags are going to receive, and they don't really have the smokes. Marv is on the other side of the map. He has to put them down if they want to actually challenge towards the EA side. EA is coming back. They don't want it.
30 seconds left.
I genuinely feel like we're watching Finesse play chess right now. I really do. He's feeling out the map. Klaus with another very nice shot as he drops down from heaven. But the rest of OpTic are going to as well. Finesse falls, the spike's there too. They're going to have to funnel their way out of the garage, and time is not on their side. Klaus gets a third on the round. You mentioned it was a dangerous one, Balla. 2 rifles, is it going to be enough? It was. KRU take the lead back.
But it wasn't even the rifles, Doug.
Yeah.
It was
Klaus.
the Sheriff from Klaus. It was the Viper molly from him. The nade initially as well. This right here, this first shot, great stuff. The first nade popped. Plus, I believe he was vulnerable too with that molly. What a round from Klaus. And it was him who started things off with the clutch. It was him who actually keeps this lead for KRU.
And you know what's funny is we don't often talk about Klaus.
No.
Right? There are so many heavy hitters on this team that people often forget about Klaus.
We did talk about him a lot towards the tail end of Champions.
Sure.
And so, with the form that they're showing, that's the reflection I think that a lot of people are hoping for, is KRU to be back at that form. So Klaus might be that guy that was missing in the narrative to kind of bring them back to that as well. Meanwhile, the pieces that we remember very clearly from KRU at Champions, Kesnit, Nags,
Mainly
they're there.
Mazzino gets sprinkled in there, but you're
Absolutely.
right, those were the 2. Yeah,
Kesnit is still a top 3 player at this event right now, and he's sick, Doug. He's been sick the entire event so far. As soon as he got here, he's been talking about it.
I mean, you could see it in the walkouts. Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, it feels like those top performing statistic players on the side of OpTic, at least through this tournament so far, it feels like they've been lacking.
Here.
Early flash, and once again, the clock continues to burn down. 35 seconds left here. OpTic with control of middle.
Comes the Nightfall.
30 seconds left.
Nightfall.
That tags both in sight.
Follow too, yeah. But Mazzino's, well, he's, I mean, happy to welcome it. Finesse drops down, and it seems like we saw this round just a moment ago. The spike falls in almost the exact same spot, but this time Marv is able to find some space. Clock running out. Yay not able to land the shot as Delzik drops him. 10 seconds left. They've got to get the spike. They've got to get it down.
All the way down below. That's a great shot from Marv to keep this in their hands. He gets the second too.
3 kills, a 1v2. Kesnit tucked away,
They're
and they're going to push him, but there's not enough time.
Milliseconds.
What a gutsy call to go for the fight.
Barely any time again. And I have to say, that round fumbled a little bit on the execution from OpTic at the beginning, but it's Marv who saves them. He does everything that he needs, but Crashes is just not fast enough.
You know, what's interesting is we've been looking at these rounds, and again, OpTic's plan has been to play slowly at the beginning, feel things out, and for initially, it did not feel like it was a problem.
No.
Right, like, it felt like they were towing this safe line of burn the clock down and then make a move, but it got him in trouble there.
We also have to see the adaptation from KRU.
Yeah.
They're kind of giving them a little bit more space. They're not bringing the fight to them all the time, and that leaves OpTic in a tough situation where it's 5v5 when those executes happen. Remember the first round that they won, OpTic, it was because Crashes got an insane pick in mid through the wall.
Operator in the hands of Nags here. One he had to purchase, not the free one, unfortunately. Still a good bit of ways from that. As OpTic try to test the waters and see what they can find. You see the Seekers have come online, and again, that is due to the fact that OpTic have shown nothing. KRU have to drop the Seekers to understand what's going on.
Nags with the op. The stars are coming down. It's not smoking him off that elbow angle.
And it's not an execute either. Smokes go down, no movement out from OpTic.
That's actually a... Okay, they dropped the orb. Slightly missed there.
30 seconds left.
No TP available from Nags.
Doesn't seem to matter. He's still backside. He gets a second. Ye's on the other side. It looked like he was going to get banged, but it was actually Mizzino who cleans things up at the end. A 3-round lead here for KRU.
And it's really working for them, what they're doing.
Yeah, I wonder if this is where we see a change of pace.
It doesn't even feel like KRU is any sort of specific strategy that's working well for them. It's just the normal stuff, the solid setups. And the Loud coach, after losing to KRU, spoke about how their fundamentals are so strong. He was comparing it to the Brazil region, but right now, it looks like it doesn't matter what region KRU. Their fundamentals, their team play, their understanding of the flow of the round right now, just simply better. We were speaking about FNS moments ago, having a read. It did feel like that, though. It really did. Anybody who was watching, the way they were playing those slow, methodical rounds, it felt like they really had a beat.
OpTic here feeling the half at least kind of start to get out of hand. Go ahead and call a timeout. 3 rounds down here. And the story at the beginning of the round was OpTic playing the slow, methodical pace, reading out KRU, and then striking where they found weakness. While it was effective initially, it has since then stumbled. And that's where we find ourselves. KRU have been disciplined, they've been patient, they have not taken these early fights. And ultimately, they're forcing OpTic to be the ones who dictate the pace. Them be the ones who make the move. Check in on Ultimates here. Kesmet 1 point away. Delzik as well. Crashies has his.
Oof.
Oh, that's
oof
fast,
back.
actually, yeah. Oh, oof, oof.
Nags 20 HP has to give up that space. Wanted just one more shot.
Yeah, I thought he was going to hold it, man.
Yeah. I thought somebody was there to break it for him, but no. There's the smoke. There's the cross.
Right, and this is where we've, so far, this is where we've been every round, right? OpTic to take mid-map control, test the waters a little bit, but it's not fast, it's not aggressive. This MBC Satchel clearing out the common alarm bot spot. But if they were to hit the site here, this would be the fastest round they've had so far. But they still don't pull the trigger yet.
OpTic has been working on these types of slow walkout hits all season long, where they either hold smokes and try to walk out and then pop the smokes, or they pop the smokes and they don't put any more utility out to see if there's a reaction from the other team. But the timing is great. The double molly, everybody in heaven right now is vulnerable.
V has not been easy to get into. Marv has been the only one who's found some space going in through garage, but heaven has not been penetrable at all. Kesnet finds one. Now the showstopper's online that I mentioned early on. It fires off, and it's not going to get the kill, but Klaus does. Kesnet able to clean things up. Victor left alone. Nothing really to save here, just a Spectre, and no time really either.
Again, solid from KRU. We mentioned just before they start to hit how OpTic is trying to abuse the silence and the gaps and the execution timings that is typical. But KRU, I mean, Klaus with those 2 mollies, this is the reason, that's the reason why they get this Prime Gaming flawless. It's super easy for them to predict the timing because it's been the same every single round. No pace change yet from OpTic.
Yeah. And again, Bala, honestly, I expected perhaps a little bit of something after that timeout, but it was a weird buy, all right? They had a couple of sheriffs in there, so perhaps this is where they dial up the heat.
Sure. And you talked about Ultimate's last round this time. They definitely have execute possible with Victor's ult, with Marv's ult, with Crashies' ult. And they're grouping B fast.
Now, last time Marv had the Cosmic Divide, he sectioned off the back of B.
They're making it look like they're still going for this mid thing. They just popped the smoke in Mail, and Finesse just used a Prowler as well.
Delzik taking a lot of damage there. No armor left and 15 HP to work with. And here we see the Cosmic Divide about to come out.
The important part, too, everybody from crew backs off there. They only see Marv. That's been Marv's position every single time. Now, the ultimates are going to come out, but you shouldn't find anything. And we'll go for a 5v5 retake again.
Give up the space. Crashies gets a spike down. Kesnet up in heaven just on the other side of the smoke for now. And there's the Cosmic Divide.
Very deep. With spawn control, too, this is very difficult for crew to work through, and they don't have any flank presence.
And even if they try, I mean, Finesse is there waiting. They have set the line of scrimmage. They have set the 50-yard line. And I don't know how crew get into this. The only ultimate that they have, well, they have 2 in the Viper's Pit and their own Cosmic Divide. Perhaps they waited out. And there's their Cosmic Divide. Now, the fight should ensue. Almost parallel in the way that they're set up. Kills go traded back and forth early on. Klaus weak. If he can get down, if he can get on the site, he can get the Viper's Pit down. Marv tries to swing out, not able to find anything. Victor tries as well.
Still
Klaus got it to half. Crashies with the perfect timing on the swing, and it was gorgeous. He's able to stop the defuse, and he's able to get OpTic the round.
Very well played in spawn there. After they set down that Cosmic Divide, after they took space in spawn, pushed them off with Marv's early pressure, they sent 2 players inside of spawn. And you're not pushing through that tiny choke, not with a single flash. So instead, they opt to go through heaven. And you actually have Victor push out first. Crashies was just hiding. And they also let them pass by spawn in order to introduce a seed of doubt. And it works flawlessly, but still a large deficit here for OpTic to overcome.
Once again, we see Klaus using the Viper's Pit towards A at the beginning of the round. This time a Prowler didn't clear all of it, but it did get some info. What was on the other side? See if they choose to explore that way. It doesn't seem to be the case.
Nags baiting the rope again, but OpTic do want to inject a pacier hit here.
The knife goes out, the double satchel, the gravity well keeps one back, but they may have gotten sectioned off here. Ye's able to find some space, but Victor's already back sight.
Great nades.
But yeah, Mazzino with the nade at his feet has to go up, has to give up some space, and look at Finesse. So calculated, but he's not expecting the second player. The second layer was too much. 3v2 here, Klaus and Kesnet. Still have to find the timing. Victor shots go a bit wide. Perhaps the gravity well can delay enough. Now Kesnet choosing to go forward, pulls the trigger, satchels out. Marv, Molly in his lap, swings out and gets the shot. Well done. OpTic at 4.
Swings into the molly. And dies because of it.
But he got his.
He got it. I got mine. You know he's saying that too.
Yeah, of course he is, man. Crew call a timeout here. Again, the last 3 rounds, have gone in favor of OpTic. And if I'm wrong, once the timeline comes up, don't tell me about it. Either way, OpTic have been able to find something here, and the interesting thing here is it has been variety and pace too, right? You think about the last 2 previous rounds compared to the one that we just saw.
Yep.
There was enough variety there that crew kind of, they stumbled trying to weather.
Sure, yeah. And potentially we were a little too quick to criticize the slow pace because it has put crew into a sense of security early on into the rounds, knowing, hey, OpTic's not going to hit for at least a minute, you know? And that's exactly what OpTic is abusing right now on that B site. And additionally, the default that they've been pushing them back into mid, so crew is not able to actually do that retake that they've been doing at the beginning of the game. That makes it easier for Marv to find picks. That makes it easier for them to walk out exactly how they're doing.
For Victor and Crashies to do the same, yeah. If it's not through picks, it's they're able to find timings on flanks later on. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We still haven't seen like an explosive right off the bat full send, and you wonder, Bala, to kind of what you were talking about earlier, there's a little bit of conditioning going on here, and that you lull crew to sleep.
Oh, fast
play
for Victor.
slow, gonna play slow, and this is perhaps where we see it. The double satchel goes all the way up, the gravity well's there, but no one on the other side.
The recall as well, a classic A heaven take, and it can catch players that crew are putting here. Nags has played there in the past, actually twice. And this time, Nags is actually on the B side, swinging slowly on that angle, and he might get a lot of information. He might get a duel against Marv too. There he is. Crosshair literally on him through the wall, just holding the angle if he walks up. So not information-based, actually. But this flash in mid, the wall was down. So right now, KRU has a beat on what's going on. They know there's nothing walking up B main yet. Marv should be there at that time. And also, there's nothing in mid, so this hit is obvious.
The Nightfall goes out. Yeah, he's able to get the opener. But with that, they don't follow. They don't follow quite yet. Delzik dropping down into a sneaky little spot. But it doesn't look like he's going to get challenged. The spike, everyone else on OpTic is going back to B. And the thing is, Nags hasn't moved!
Immediately, Finesse calls, let's switch it up. As soon as that op shot is revealed, they thought he was at A this entire time.
Kesna with the satchel. They've taken Heaven. The question is, do they swing out? Do they go in through spawn? With 12 seconds left, you don't have much time to decide this. You don't have much time to think this through. You're going to have to take the fights. The kills go back and forth as Kesnit's still holding back in spawn. Finesse with the spike down. It's going to have to be a 1v3. Marv takes care of the first. And Nags, the gun barrel's there. Marv finds it.
He makes the read.
Ice in his veins. Can he do it again? Captain Clutch as Kesnit rotates around. And I don't know that Marv is waiting for it. Low health, he doesn't. Kesnit gets him. He takes care of him. And he's going to get the defuse. Well played by KRU.
A series of reads was actually necessary for Marv. Needed to call the fact that he was not sticking to defuse. I think that one's a little bit easier. It's planted for Heaven. The guy is Heaven. He killed your teammate. There's no way he stays on that. Secondly, that he's walking not through screens, which is what Marv thought, but he's walking back a ramp.
Yeah. The long way around, too. I mean, especially in a diffuse situation like that.
And again, KRU continue to clutch rounds. The two clutches we've seen have gone in KRU's favor. And OpTic, I mentioned KRU's clutch rate being 23%. OpTic sits at 13%. And we actually think of OpTic as a very clutch team. But so far this event, that's not necessarily been the case. Although, in the last game, they didn't necessarily have to show it. And I think that's how Marv likes it.
Nags with the tour de force, two players just on the other side. You see them creeping, tiptoeing, shuffling feet just on the other side. The jump peek doesn't draw anything out as Nags is patient. Now the Roomba's going to push him off.
The tour de force gone.
Very well played. The double satchel across, but Nags is still able to take care of Marv. Tries to look for a second, but no. He's overwhelmed by OpTic's forces. Victor's able to get one with an aid. Delzik trying to reestablish Heaven control, and at least for now he does. Crashy's looking to get the spike down. Numbers in favor of OpTic. Yay. Plucks one down, and it's all on to Klaus. Said we don't talk about him much. He's got a chance to put a name on something here, but he's not able to do it. A 7-5 half as OpTic win the last round. And a lot of the formula was the same, Balla.
Yeah, it was. But they switched it up in that round especially. Definitely a couple rounds here. OpTic feel like they know everything that's going on.
7-5 half once again between KRU and OpTic. Let's sort down to the desk to see what they think of that first half.
I loved what Balla said there. It's been a series of reads upon reads upon reads.
Yeah.
A great first half between these two teams. And Jess, first and foremost, I mean, we just got to go into KRU. They have layers here. It's very clear this team, they put in the work.
You're speaking about reading. I think OpTic came into this particular map and have read KRU as the old KRU. I think with their new coach, Lazo and whatnot coming in, they've actually added that extra layer you spoke about. They don't overextend. I think you call it overheating, Mimi. I love that kind of phrase. I think that really talks about it well. They don't overheat in the way that they go.
Yeah, and there was a couple rounds that we want to take a look at here. The first one is a rough one for OpTic. They really let the clock whittle down, and I think that was the issue early on.
Yeah.
You pointed that out. They were holding for aggression from KRU. That's old KRU. This new KRU was not giving anything in the early round. OpTic struggled against that, but later in towards this half, things started to change. You see in this one, they get off the planet, just not enough time. But this round is a little bit better. Really nice execute out onto B. OpTic changed the pace. They have a post to play with, and they actually push two players deep in towards spawn, hold the space there, and are able to lock things down in the late round. Changing up that pace, coming in with these new ideas in the latter part of that half was excellent out of OpTic, and it really feels like the FNS standard. Slow start into a map, figure out how your opponent plays, build.
You said latter part of that half, it took them 8 rounds until I really felt confident they understood that KRU weren't going to come and give them defensive aggression. So that's really a late read, but I will give them that they have prepared. And Marv, man on your screen, who was able to give a really good, yet again, consistent performance, regardless of being sort of, you know, 2 rounds deficit at the half. But I mean, on an attacking half, that's not too bad.
No matter what, this guy is fragging. Defense, attack, it does not matter to him. But really what I'm looking towards is him and also this Fade Raise combo that OpTic brings. When we pivot in towards that defensive side, that's where comps like this really shine. And Crew, I fear that they may struggle to play up against that. The question is, have they found enough rounds on their defense?
All right, well, let's jump right back into the action here. The second half is underway. Balla, Doug, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, Crew with a 2-round lead here. They were a bit too much for OpTic to handle initially. They played things away that was perhaps unexpected, and off of that, and off of Klaus's 13-8 performance, by the way, that has us where we are here on a Viper, too. I mean, come on, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, it's really, really good from him, but also I love the way that they're moving Nags around the map. It's going to be different here, though, on this attacking side. See if they go for the traditional Viper plays. This time they're actually set up towards B. He's going to throw another orb as well over towards B so they can walk out. Actually similar to how OpTic were playing on this pistol round, or at least threaten that idea.
Here.
And you were right about them wanting to play it very similar to how OpTic were. You're not kidding. They've hardly moved at all. It's very patient from both teams.
This is my kind of game. A lot of people might say, oh, this is so boring. They're taking their sweet time.
That's chess, man.
But it's just beautiful to watch the battle between the IGLs.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yay. Gun spotted. Bullet delivered. Tries to find another. Has to give up the space. Takes some damage too. As did Victor. 15 HP here. Okay, backing up. Gets a second.
Spike down mid.
Trade favorable right now because Klaus is trying to walk out, but Marv gets in his smoke.
Again, Marv, who's been the hallmark of consistency for this team, playing on the other side of the smoke. Oh, swings out and the peak. Timing doesn't go his way.
Left.
Marv gets plenty of info, manages to preserve his life. And now with not a whole lot of time left, Crew are stuck in a sticky spot. They're going to have to make a decision, and they're segmented. Klaus was supposed to be the tip of the spear. He falls. Now you're going to see Nags join with Delzik pretty far behind. And the thing is, there's not enough time for them to wait this out.
Spike down B. 10 seconds left.
A fumble from the initial picks, and that sees will close the deal.
And it just felt like they were too far spread out at the end there.
Yeah. Klaus had a massive opportunity there when Marv tries to peek through the smoke to clear the box. That's a gamble from Marv. Another read from him, who, by the way, we mentioned Klaus. Marv is 17-9.
That's just another day in the office for Marv.
It is, really.
At least this tournament. He's been so consistent. But again, to go back to the timing that was potential there, it was all off a jiggle, man.
Yep.
Like, literally, you think about moments like that, and you go, if he had been jiggling the other way in that moment, that's a kill.
Or if you're just holding the smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Klaus here choosing, or excuse me, Crew. Klaus has just been a lot of Crew. This map, choosing not to buy.
Speaking of Marved, man.
3 bullets, 2 kills. It doesn't get much more efficient than that.
As long as the other players here for OpTic can keep this clean, and they do. Victor and Ye, well done from them. The nade to segment. And then the shot from Ye as well on the cross. Marv has been the best player statistically for OpTic so far this tournament. Mimi touched on that. And also, Jess was talking about how Crew had multiple players playing at peak form. Surprisingly, when you look at it, OpTic has no top 10 ACS players.
Yeah, which is just so uncommon. I mean, that's so unexpected.
For most teams, that's a death sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
For most teams, that means you're eliminated from playoffs. And normally for OpTic, they have Ye there, right? He's always there. So far this series, he's playing decently well, but the tournament so far has been quiet until that last map, last series against the second place, the rematch of Reykjavik Grand Finals.
Crew here on the first gun round that they're going to have, or that they've had so far in the half. While OpTic a lighter buy here, 3 Spectres carrying over from the previous round. It was really just one player who died, and that's where you see the Vandal in the hands of Ye, and he makes it sing.
That angle is not real. The reason why he could shoot that is because Nags is just jumping up on the ledge. There's like a little bit of height that is exposed, and Ye takes advantage of that with crosshair placement. That is crazy.
You see Ye playing up top. Members just on the other side. He spots his shoulder. He gets a spam. He actually gets 4.
Down mid.
Perhaps Ye is waking up. This round certainly would help. KRU's economy is going to be in absolute shambles. As Ye's going hunting, I mean, Delzik trying to cower, trying to find some space, some sewers, some solace, some safety, and again, the timing. It's been a map of microseconds. But Delzik was way too much in his lap. 4 members of OpTic on the other side trying to hunt him down, trying to get that gun out of his hands. Again, I mentioned the economy for KRU is going to be in such bad shape after this round that Delzik's doing everything he possibly can to hang on to that thing, and it looks like he's going to be able to do so.
Yeah, they don't want to push into the sewers. Still time to chase him down. But they're not going for it. Only Marv who has everything going for him, and I think he also hunted specifically to get that Cosmic Divide up online. At least that's the feeling I get.
And off of that, you're absolutely right. He does, so we'll see if they choose to play that into the next round. Yeah, that was
here's the ledge. Like, you see, he walks a step forward and the angle's gone already. That's what I'm saying. I just don't have the words to describe what it is. What a round from Ye. We just talked about how he's usually at the top of the leaderboard, and I think he might be there after this series if he continues like that.
Yeah, he's certainly flirting with the idea. +3 so far. OpTic with 1 round lead here on Split. Worth noting, this is their map pick. KRU with nothing on this buy here. Light armor, really the whole way, but just pistols.
And that's a conversion as well for OpTic on the bonus round. Not something that they're typically doing.
And pretty freaking clean conversion, too.
Yeah, they're below average on bonus round conversions.
Prowler giving off the idea that there's at least something to worry about. Up in mail, up in heaven. A second Prowler to confirm any sort of doubt that may have been there. Since then gone. 1 minute left in the round. You've got Ye holding things down with the tour de force. Going to walk right into his crosshair. I thought for sure he was going to get a clat there. But Nags ultimately falls.
Going back for it. This is starting to look really easy for a number of different players.
You really feel the gun difference. I mean, it's just so difficult to do something here. And while KRU have done well to drop 2 rifles out of the way,
okay,
Kesnet has gotten down to a 1v2. And he's got the spike. 30 seconds left. He's going to isolate the gunfights, but Ye doesn't lose those very often. He drops him down. OpTic gets to 9.
Really good stuff from OpTic. Keeping things clean-ish.
Clean-ish, yeah. Yeah, that was clean-ish, yeah.
They don't even need it, too, because the bank is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This starting to look like a must-win round for KRU. They got to break this streak. It's 4 in a row for OpTic now.
Crashies is 88.
5 in a row.
8,800 credits.
Yeah.
That guy's big chillin'. Meanwhile, you see on the side of KRU, just down to scraps, really. Not much left in the bank after this.
They put 3 stars down at the beginning of the round. That does not give them much room to pivot here, but Marv is flirting with danger on the backside of this wall.
Is he flirting with danger? Because they have not detected him. Again, Marv so patient here.
Why did I feel like you just delivered that line? You know, call an ambulance. But not for me, and nothing has happened. That's what it felt like you just did.
It was anticipation, okay? I thought they were gonna walk. And it doesn't seem like they can walk into mid either. So again, there's still plenty of time here. But the nade pushes them back just a tad.
There's plenty of time, but they haven't actually achieved any goals of a normal default, right? They haven't broken the trademark. They haven't taken mail.
Well, there's one. There's that trademark that you were just alluding to. Up in A, Heaven's gone. They still haven't taken mail, though. You're absolutely right.
And Marv has the keys in this one. He has the Astral Divide. He could put it down at any time to help out the hold, and both holds are in the sights.
30 seconds left.
Gravity Well to buy some space. You see Marv has arrived, so they're all going to be trying to fight for the site itself. You mentioned the Cosmic Divide. It falls. And now KRU are going to have to push their way in, but Marv, again, it was almost like the beginning of the round. He was hiding in a ratty little corner, and he's still able to get one. 3v2 here in favor of OpTic. Time not on KRU's side. As Kesnet's left in this 1v3 finesse. trying to put the round away himself, and he does. OpTic get to 10.
That round was crucial for KRU. OpTic's momentum feels unstoppable right now on this defensive side.
And man, I wonder if KRU call a timeout. They've got to do it soon, right? Like, I'm pretty sure economy's not great. The thing is, they've got to find a reason, any sort of reason for why things went wrong. They have to find a reason for why the money's all gone.
I think that reason might be just split in general. This is actually their permaban regionally and has been consistent at the beginning of Copenhagen.
Ooh, that helps. It's okay if you only have pistols, if there's a tour de force to work with. Kesnet satcheling across the Viper wall to provide some cover, flash on the other side in case anyone wanted to push through, but that nade sections them off.
That kill actually slowed them right there, and that's a lot of damage done to Klaus.
Yeah.
Walking through the chamber slow.
Another Cosmic Divide as the Prowler tries to get some info. The nade backside, and yeah, it's enough to get the kill. Kesnet falls. KRU trying to brute force their way into this thing, find some sort of anything to get momentum going back their way. Crashies. Oh my gosh, he jumped on his head. He stomped on him like it was a Goomba.
He's expecting somebody to be holding right next to it, and he literally just jumps over him, dunks on him. Put him on a poster.
There's the timeout. Again, time really kind of running out here for KRU. This is perhaps one of their last gun rounds. And really, they're not going to have very many other options to invest heavily. They're not going to have very many options as far as trying to claw this thing back.
Hanging.
Oh, no. The nice thing is, too.
Never.
Well, and like, Ye, he's such a good guy. He would just stand there the whole time. He's like, hey, man, I got you. Right here.
This is starting to look like a stomp.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Ball, you think through this and you go, well, OpTic, while obviously it's OpTic, right? Like, statistically, their bread and butter is defensive halves.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that here.
Sure. They were one of the best in NA. And at the beginning of this tournament, you probably couldn't say that they were one of the best, but
yeah,
we still have such a low sample size. This game, it definitely looks like it. They are ripping apart a KRU who is kind of similar to a lot of the original NA teams in the sense that they're fluid-based, right? They're
sure.
They call a lot on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily have insane set strats. They have good ideas for the bonus rounds, for all their rounds, to be honest. But right now they need some sort of craziness because this deficit doesn't look like that large. But OpTic has gotten 7 rounds in a row.
Not that large. Bro, come on.
It's 4 rounds. We've seen so many comebacks like this. So I'm not counting it out. The problem is this deficit in the momentum, the deficit in the streak. If OpTic close out 9 rounds in a row, and that's not a good start to do so.
No, it's just way too much for Finesse to handle there. They fake that they're going up the ropes. Note Victor 1 point away from having that showstopper. The truth is, KRU have a lot of options here. Kesnet getting that kill on Finesse gets him his showstopper. Klaus 1 point away from the Viper's pit. And they've got the Seekers to work with here. Deep arsenal.
So tools to close out the round.
Yeah.
But for now, OpTic is making a gamble stack towards A. All 4 players remaining, and they're going to take the fight to them. There's only one player actually at the bottom of A ramp, Delzig.
I've got your trail.
And this Seekers, wait, hold on. 2 of them went towards A. Still 1 went back towards B because Ye's there.
And it draws the flash out too. Now the showstopper, but the nade to delay.
Canceled.
Very well done. OpTic refused to give up an inch, and you see him start to scurry. They start to run away. You've got a rocket launcher chasing you. Patience, though, as he tugs in the corner. Delzik. Victor was trying to find safety, and he wasn't able to do so. A 3v3 here, 20 seconds left.
And Crashes his pulse gave away his position, so they're instantly fighting that.
Yeah, trying to get the pick. Not able to do it the first time. The second time works, though. As Klaus is left alone here, time, again, running out. It's fleeting. The bullets don't land. Marv gets 3. OpTic get 12.
Match point. And it feels like this second half. No, it doesn't feel like it. It is. Just full on domination from OpTic.
It was, Balla, this was close until it wasn't. I mean,
8 rounds in a row. But Doug, also, I feel like on that first half, we were giving a lot of credit to OpTic for feeling like they were in control of the game. And I think the second half has shown us that that was absolutely the case.
Flirting here with a perfect half.
This reminds me of the playoffs game against EG.
And you kind of wonder here, as OpTic seemed to be putting the finishing touches, again, on a perfect half, 8 rounds in a row, going back to the previous half. You kind of wonder here if there was a little bit of, okay, we're tired of being doubted. All right, we still are OpTic, and we're going to make a statement here. It's still pretty early on, but that seems to be the game plan, as Klaus and Delzik have to keep this map alive by themselves in a 4v. Now 1. And the 1, well, there is no saving grace. There's no saving grace at all. 13-7 in favor of OpTic as they take care of Split. The map that was their pick, but now we turn our attention to Haven. Now we turn our attention to a map that is KRU's. It was favored for them. And